up from there to about 59,000. We have not yet been given any guidance about that sliding scale. Our tax assessor is going to a conference later this month, and we hope to have more clarity after that. Since this expanded exemption would take effect for next year's assessment roll, not the one that just was submitted, there is currently no urgency to passing it now. We want to make sure we have all the details right so that we only need to go through this process once. So the expansion will be introduced sometime in the coming months. I would like to thank all of those that were involved with the planning and execution of our first Clinton Community Day in 16 years. It was a wonderful day of fun and camaraderie. We received many glowing compliments in the days following. I want to thank Hannaford Market for their donation of food, and the Clinton Historical Society, the Friends Cemetery Association, the Upton Lake Christian School, and the East Clinton Fire District for allowing the use of their properties for vendors and parking. Additionally, I would especially like to thank the volunteers of the Clinton Community Day Committee who gave so much of their time and talents to make it a successful event. We are having a wrap-up meeting on September 29th, so if you have any constructive criticism that you would like to share, please send an email to townsupervisor@townofclinton.com. Reports. Chris.
Reports? No, I mean, other than we're still working on ARPA, which I'm going to get a motion that I want to make after, but I have nothing new to really report.
All right. Alec?
Okay, planning board met twice, looked at one variance application, 2 soil and erosion control sediment plans, 3 applications for accessory dwelling units, and 3 applications for non-hosted short-term rentals. So those are coming in on I think on a fairly regular basis. ZBA met at one meeting and reviewed and approved, I should say, 3 variances, and had a lengthy discussion about the cornerstone of Rhinebeck. And after many months of discussion back and forth, motions and various things, the ZBA passed a resolution. Basically, I'll just very quick review. The resolution had 2 aspects to it. First, the ZBA ruled that the increase in bed capacity to 99 patients constituted an impermissible intensification and enlargement of the pre-existing non-conforming use. And secondly, ZBA ruled that Cornerstone offering detoxification services to its patient population did not imperceptibly intensify, enlarge, or change the pre-existing non-conforming use. The upshot is that the application for the moment is on hold until determination is made as to where we go from here. Stay tuned, and that'll do it.
Dean?
The zoning revision has been going along. Our next meeting is next Wednesday, September 21st. I think we're up to L's.
Yep.
So hopefully before the end of the year, we may be.
Oh, I think we made it to M, because didn't we do motorhome?
A mobile home. We did.
Mobile home.
Yeah. We got to M.
So we're up to N's then. I think we finished the M's.
I think that's the other side.
We're on the second half.
We're on the second half. So see you in 10 years. Now, so if you have any input, please feel free to contact me or show up next Wednesday.
And Catherine?
I am going to submit all my reports online.
Okay. Next one is Chris with an ARPA update. I want to pass out these, though. There is almost no change in them except what Chris is about to talk about.
So originally, before I make this motion, I just want to kind of give a heads up. Part of our concept of what we're doing within the parks started with Fran Mark was trying to get the cameras up. So this is nothing really new. Dan and I have been speaking about it. Originally, he had a bid of around $10,000. So today is really just going to be to approve the motion of spending up to $3,000. When I do that on cameras, we think we can do cameras a lot cheaper. That's going to suffice for the town. Once we get an actual price of what we're planning on doing, we'll come back and actually approve the purchase of that. So this is just given the initial approval. So I'd like to make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves using $3,000 in ARPA funds to purchase security cameras at Fran Mark Park. Is there a second?
Second.
So on the sheet that I handed out, we had $10,000 under the Fran Mark. I'm going to change that for moving forward to $6,500 because we've already spent $3,200 on the Wi-Fi.
For the Wi-Fi.
So adding 3,000 would bring it up to 62. I'll make it 65 just in case there's extra something.
Okay.
You know, and when we get the actual numbers after the money's spent, I'll put in the accurate number.
Perfect.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board rejects the bid received for the library ramp project funded by DASNY grant funds due to the cost exceeding the grant amount. Is there a second?
Second.
So we recently went out to bid for the addition of an accessibility ramp on the front of the library. We had about $96,000 available in remaining grant funding for this ramp. We were told that this would be plenty, but unfortunately, supply chains and inflation had other ideas. We received one bid back at $186,000. So we are going to reject this bid, I believe, and try again in the new year for a spring installation. Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. New business. I make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 35 of 2022, authorizing the return of unused escrow funds to Doney's English. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 36 of 2022, authorizing the return of unused escrow funds to Clint Kershaw. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. I just want to say that this is in a continuing project of returning dormant escrow funds that we've been holding on to for many years, and the town isn't in the business of holding on to residents' money for no reason, so we're trying to give it back as we find them. The next thing on the agenda is the approval of a snow and ice control agreement. We actually do not have that agreement right now, but the Highway Department is working with Gary Cooper in Dutchess County, negotiating a better price. Basically, they pay us to plow and sand roads for them in the winter. We've had this agreement for 2 years. This would be the third year, and we are trying to, with inflation and gas prices and a new contract for the union, it's costing us more money, so we're trying to get more money from the county for this, but stay tuned. This agreement does need to be approved by the end of the month, so we may have to have a little special session to approve it at some point. Next on the agenda, that's me. I make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 37 of 2022, a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to expend an amount not to exceed $30,000 from the Capital Projects Fund, AKA Recreation Trust Fund, account number TA335, subject to permissive referendum for the purpose of funding certain improvements at Friends Park. Is there a second?
Second.
Last month, we decided to split the funding for the improvements at Friends Park in 3 ways. $98,700 from the Community Development Block Grant Funds, and about $29,325 each from the ARPA funds and the subdivision fund. There is a few hundred extra included in this resolution to cover contingencies. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. I make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 38 of 2022, the 284 agreement dated September 13th, 2022.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Welsh Sanitation. So I received a letter last week from Welsh Sanitation. As of January 1st, they will no longer be able to provide staff to facilitate the weekly transfer station behind Town Hall. They have offered to allow us to rent the containers and then pay a transport and disposal fee. We would have to provide the staff for the transfer station, and we could charge the residents for the service. Town Clerk Carol Mackin did some research for me and discovered that the Stanford transfer station has been operating in this manner. It costs about $65,000 a year for them to rent the container, transport, and dispose of the trash. They spend about $36,000 on employees to work the station for a half a day on Wednesdays and a full day on Saturdays. They have a $10 sticker fee and charge a per bag fee, bringing in about $80,000, which means that it results in an operating deficit of about $21,000 a year. So we're going to need to decide what course of action we want to take on this. We could abandon the transfer station. I suppose that's an option. We can go out to bid for a possible cheaper alternative. We could stick with Welsh and operate at a deficit or try to charge enough money to break even. I honestly think that would be difficult. The reason they're giving it up is because they haven't been able to charge enough money to break even. I am open to all of your ideas. I just wanted to start the discussion.
They would transport. They'll come and get it and take it.
So we would rent the container.
Right.
We would have our own people
Right.
collecting money
Right.
and
This is basically what, a group of us were doing in the beginning of COVID.
during COVID.
Where we were just donating our time.
Yeah.
Board members and other staff members from the town did here. I would first, I don't know if it's something, we can see if there's any other, there are other sanitation companies to see. I remember back then, I was having a discussion with Welsh Sanitation a couple of years ago on trying to see if they would work out a better price for our residents to get them in. I mean, I know they do it with certain towns or there's certain.
You mean for home pickup?
Home pickup, that would be an incentive for them. At that time, they weren't interested. They says, well, we already got, so many people up here and they would cut into their profits. I said, even if you got more people. So my gut would be is to, let's put it out first, make see if we get some other bids and stuff like that. And, I think if we stick with someone so long, obviously, it might not always be the best deal in town.
I think too many people use that service to make it go away.
Oh, I'm not saying make it go
No,
away.
I'm saying, well, that was one of the things, and
Yeah.
a valid point, like, we could just stop,
We
but
could.
I don't think we can, because I think it's used by so many of the
Could you
townspeople, and yeah.
finish answering your question from before about the transport? You never got finished.
Oh,
We
so
staff
we
it.
would
We
rent the
trucks,
container.
We staff
We staff it,
Right.
paying people, and they
Right.
would collect money, and people would need
Right.
stickers and stuff.
Right.
And then we would also then pay Welsh to transport
All
and
right.
dump it, because there's dumping fees as well.
So we're paying for everything.
We'd be paying for
Essentially.
everything, yeah.
Okay, all right.
They would, yeah, we would pay for everything.
Carol, did we know who Stanford uses for that?
It's Welsh.
I would-
Basically, I called all the towns, basically they all use Welsh, and they all have those kinds of numbers. And Welsh doesn't do what they do here. Welsh staffs ours, and they don't have any involvement like that in any other town. Oh, sorry.
So basically, the proposal they made to Michael is what they do in other towns,
Yes.
essentially. It's the same
Essentially,
thing.
yeah.
We are actually,
Exception.
I think it might be in the letter.
Yeah.
We are only one of 2 towns left that they have this kind of arrangement with, that they're doing what they do here.
I think we should talk with like Recycle Depot or something like that. And then also, if we had separate containers for recycling things, it may not cost us anything. So maybe just even having a dumpster that we would fill the dumpster, and then it would be just a normal dumpster charge for them coming and picking it up weekly. Just, we'd have to lock it, during the off hours.
For recycling or garbage, you mean?
Garbage.
Garbage.
But maybe Recycle Depot could put recycling dumpsters. I mean, when I remodeled my house, there was a lot of metal because of all of the wire lath and metal siding and stuff like that. I got a metal dumpster for free because they made the money on the metal recycling.
Yeah.
Isn't that basically what they're suggesting, or how is that different? I don't,
Because they wouldn't charge
They
you for
want to
the
charge us for
recyclables.
For all of it.
all of it,
right, okay.
and having the containers and
But
everything else.
Recycle Depot may put recycling
oh,
containers
Recycle
there
Depot,
and
okay.
wouldn't charge us. They just get to,
Now, if we go with a different company, how does that affect?
the one in the back. Yeah.
How does that affect the home pickup? Does it affect the home pickup at all?
No, we have home pickup from them. It's
If
separate.
we don't have this contract with them to come on Saturday, would they continue doing home pickup is my
Oh,
question.
they'll continue doing home pickup in the community, but there are a lot of people that use this transfer
Yeah, no,
station
I'm
as
just
it's weird.
asking.
Yeah.
I can
just
tell you
asking.
also, the surrounding
all.
towns do have an out-of-town sticker fee. So Stanford, for example, is a $10 fee for their residents.
Right.
It's a $60 fee for anyone outside of Stanford, and then the rates are the same to dump your garbage, like $4 a bag and so forth.
So there are options if we weren't to
Nearby,
do it.
yeah. There are.
So moving forward, I'll call around to other waste management. I can call
That's what I was.
Recycle Depot. We'll get some quotes and see what some of the situation is
We have a contract with them? How long does it go? Do we know?
with Welsh.
Yeah.
The
30 years.
the contract is ending on December 31st, so. And I'll try and run some numbers too about how much we think it would cost to have, 6 hours a week, somebody running the station, 2 people running the station. So we have at least,
Maybe we'd have to shorten that too.
Yeah.
You know, condense it.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right now,
Make
it's what?
fewer
It's-
hours.
It's 8 to 1, I think, 8 to
I
12.
think it's
7 to
7:30
7:30 to noon.
to noon, yeah, so it's 4.5 hours. Okay. So we'll get some of that. I'll send a lot of that around in emails so that we can have maybe a solid plan coming into the next meeting. So I don't think we can really push this off too far.
As we go forward, maybe we can try and see what the pattern is as far as traffic, as in when it's busiest and when it's quietest, so that if we do need to cut down hours, we can make an educated
Yeah,
choice.
I can talk to Scott Kale, too. He's their general manager, works with Clinton. He was willing to tell me about how much money they make in bag fees every week, here. And so that will give us a better idea.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 39 of 2022, a local law to override the tax levy limit for fiscal year 2023, and that a public hearing be held at the town hall, Clinton Town Hall, on October 11th, 2022 at 6:25 PM. Is there a second?
Second.
So this is a local law that we pass every year to prepare for the possibility of needing to go over the tax cap. The last few years, we have stayed under it. This year, with inflation putting a big crimp on our budget along with everyone else, I suspect we will need to exceed the tax cap. As you saw earlier with the library ramp, costs have almost doubled in some areas of the budget. The cost of fuel alone has caused some chaos in our highway budget, so we need to pass this and then work as hard as we can to minimize costs during our budget process. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Moving on to resignations and appointments. Oh, no resignations. I make a motion that the town board approves the appointment of Elliot Werner as liaison to the Dutchess County Human Rights Commission effective September 13th, 2022. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. I make a motion that the town board approves the appointment of Samantha Campbell as substitute clerk effective September 26th, 2022.
Number 6.
September 6th, 2022, at a rate of pay of $15.30 per hour for up to 5 hours per week. Is there a second? Any discussion? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. I make a motion that the town board approves the appointment of Tim Horton as seasonal cemetery groundskeeper from September 6, 2022 to October 31st, 2022 at a rate of pay of $15.30 per hour for 32 hours per week, for up to 32 hours per week.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that the town board approves the appointment of Billy West as part-time building clerk at a rate of $21 per hour for 20 hours per week, effective September 13th, 2022. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Dean?
Make a motion, be it resolved, the town board approves the September general fund warrant vouchers number 409 through 456, totaling $87,835.22, and the September highway fund warrant vouchers number 198 through 220, totaling $244,163.30. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. I make a motion, be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 40 of 2022, a motion to move funds at the September 13th, 2022 town board meeting. Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And I make a motion to approve the supervisor's report for August 2022. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. We can open the floor to public discussion now, if anyone has anything to speak. Go on up. Go to the microphone, please.
You just
And
gotta
make
open
sure-
it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got him. I'm tired today. I make a motion to open the meeting to public discussion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Please make sure you speak into the mic. We've been given notes.
Okay, I think I could even do this without the mic, but I'm Liz Gilio. I'm a trustee over at the library, and I came really to say two things. One, there's a big thank you. I know Community Day was a lot of work and effort, and it was a huge success. It was also a success for the library. We had several people come in and, register new library cards. They got to see what services we offer, so I really want to thank you for all the work, and we'd love to be a part of it in the future. The second thing I want you to know, I think you probably are aware of this, but the 414 vote is going on the ballot in November. And it's something very near and dear to my heart. To me, the library was a welcome home when I came up here with the new baby. My husband grew up here. He remembers going up there when it was a voluntary reading room, and his mom would bring him. He'd sit on the floor and read books. And now we have this amazing library. And as a new resident moving up here with my husband, that was my second home. Like Terry Sennett was the librarian then. I could bring my toddler. I could take out books, DVDs. If I had a moment to read, I could actually get a book for myself. And fast forward 14 years later, in the past few months, he went up to a sailing class on the Clearwater. I've done art classes. I did a cooking class, a lunch and learn about foraging locally, a community concert right out here on the lawn. There are so many things we offer. So the thing I want to leave you with is that for everything we do, we are asking what will be a median increase for the median household, roughly a $410,000, $415,000 house, $17 per year per household. So I want to just give you that information. We hope we have your support. To me, it would be, this really, the library is very important to me and gives a great deal, and I would hate to see it not be able to operate at the level we are now. So I'd be happy to talk to you individually if you have questions. Any of the trustees are open to a conversation. And if people come to you, please send them our way. I'd love to invite them in and show them what we offer. That's it.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I'd like to point out also during the Welsh Sanitation conversation, Todd Martin, I want to make sure all comments are on the record. Todd Martin mentioned that the metal recycling is still in the back. That has nothing to do with the Welsh thing.
Yes. I have several things. First off, I think Community Day was a success. Overall, we've had hundreds of positive responses and thank yous and everything else. As you were saying with the library, the Historical Society had over 250 people come in and register, and that's the most they've ever had. So it's big. September 29th here at the Town Hall, 6:30 p.m. We're going to do a recap of this year's. There's pros and cons, there's good and bads for this year, and we want to plan for next year and start making it bigger and better and improve on the negativities and continue on with it. I thought it was a beautiful day. And
What time? 6:30?
6:30. The 29th, here at the Town Hall at 6:30 p.m. Right now, we have this is highway related, we have a 2001 pickup truck with almost 200,000 miles onto it. It's going to cost us between $8,000 to $12,000. All the lights and stuff are on this truck. Right now, we have a truck on hold from Romeo Ford. It's a plain Jane Ford F-250 with a plow onto it. They're going to hold it for 30 days. We got to make a decision here, folks, because either I'm going to spend $8,000 to $12,000 of the highway money when this truck is the highway, wreck, and cemetery. The highway, I can come up with $25,000. With the sale of the truck, I'm figuring another 8 to 10,000. So the rec and cemetery got to come up with the rest of that. This truck's not going to last us till the end of the year. If that truck goes down, then we're down a truck for doing the town hall complex, the courts out front here, the cemeteries, and the rec parks. And we also use that for the highway for doing our cul-de-sacs and intersections and stuff. So this
How much is that truck?
Right now, I'm figuring it's going to be 50,000. It's a plain Jane Ford F-250. It's got a plow onto it already. There's nothing special about this truck. It's roll-up windows. The only thing we got to do to it is a spray and bed liner. We're going to take the sander from the old truck and put it in this. This 2001, I'm going to get rid of it. We'll put it out to auction with the plow with it, because this new truck already has a plow. It's a V plow. That's going to be universal for my truck, the other pickup truck we have, and also the dump truck. So what I'm trying to do is everything's universal now. So these different plows and trucks, everything's going to work and match. That's just food for thought. It's in the works right now. We might have to have a special meeting over this, but I'm just putting a bug in you guys' ear.
Numbers in while you're talking just about this.
Yep.
So you said you had 25,000.
Yep. And I'm figuring probably around 10,000 for that truck going through Auction International, who the town has a contract with. And I'll let that truck go with the plow onto it, because I don't need the plow, because it's not universal with the rest of our fleet. This new truck is. It's the same exact plow that we can hook up to the other trucks.
Okay.
That's food for thought,
Yeah.
but it's something we're going to have to do.
Todd and I have discussed it. We have gone through the budget. I believe we can find the other $25,000, especially if we get 8,000 for the sale of the old
Of the
one.
other truck.
So it's really down to about $18,000, and I believe we can find it.
Okay.
This year's budget.
Yes, this year's budget, I would much prefer to do it, by the way, in this year's budget, considering the crunch that we're under and the tax cap for next year.
And the
So-
prices are going to go, I've been talking with Mike for 4 or 5 months about this, and this is the only truck I've found. After this, we're not going to find another one until another probably 6 months, 12 months, a year, we don't know. Now back to the Walsh, that's number 3 on my list here. 25 years with the Highway Department. Fran Mark Park was set up for where the tractor pull mud bog area is, to do a transfer station, where that is. I'd like to get it off the town hall complex. The only reason I'm saying that is, Elliot, you seen me here Saturday. People come in the transfer station here and they drop off the garbage. It's fine and dandy, recyclables and everything. But what people don't realize is they drop nails, they drop screws and everything else. The residents are driving through getting flat tires. The town trucks are driving through getting flat tires. $1,700 in the last 3 weeks we spent on tires just at the Highway Department, with either nails or some type of metal in there. That's why I'm here on Saturday mornings going through with the metal detector or the metal magnet, trying to pick up the nails and everything else to help us at the highway and help the residents coming in here on Saturday. So that's a problem. If you guys also notice out back here around that recycling area, they're tearing our blacktop up. The truck's leaking. They had a brand new truck here Saturday. It blew a valve. We helped them fix it for half an hour, 45 minutes. It blew another valve. Then I had to grab a bale of shavings because we had hydraulic flow going across the parking lot going towards the drain. I don't want that here at the Highway Department, and I don't want it out back here. That's a mess, and it's a liability for us. If we can get off the town hall complex here somewhere else besides the highway and out back here, I'll be happy with that.
Hang on a second, don't move on yet. So if, as you say, that area where the mud bog was
Yep.
intended to be a transfer station, how much money is it going to cost to make it into an effective transfer station? Because it's not, there's no driveway, there's no...
Yes, there is. There is a driveway down there. We do have
Yes,
access.
But
That's
there's,
a legal driveway, not Fran Mark Park going in. That next door, that's what we're doing now, is that's why we cleared along that guardrail there, and we started filling along that edge. We have permission from the Dutchess County DPW to put an extension on that pipe and make that entrance into the tractor pull mud bog area to make that wider and more efficient for us to pull in and out of there.
okay, but in order to make it usable for that purpose, money's going to need to be spent, yes?
There's grants, there's shared services.
Okay, that's fine. What, in your opinion, do you think it's going to cost?
Roughly, I have no idea.
Well, think about it and let me know when we have our meeting, because I'm
And also food for thought too, is you're talking about 6 hours for this transfer station. Other towns
It
do
only,
it.
it only operates 4.5 right now. We'd probably do that or
Why
less.
can't we use the highway guys? to offset their hours, because other towns have done this. I mean, I
All options are on the table. We're gonna be looking into it.
Stanford, Rhinebeck, Red Hook, Hyde Park, and all those guys, they've all done the same. They've used the highway department to offset their hours, to cut down on costs. It's already, their budget's already, or their hours are already figured in the budget and stuff, to help save money that way, too.
Do you have the bandwidth within your department to give up 2 guys for 4 hours?
It's one, you got the full-time, and you also got the part-time people. You also got the summer help at the highway.
You have room for that? Like,
We could, if we could sit down and start working numbers and try to figure this out. I mean, if this is gonna be a problem, you know, with the sanitation here or in the town, with Walsh and stuff, we gotta come up with a solution or something for the residents and the taxpayers here. And I'm willing to sit down as a highway superintendent with the town board and try to figure this out with Walsh or whoever. But I just don't like the idea of it being out back here, just because of the concept of the nails and everything else and the mess
Okay.
they're making and tearing that blacktop up.
The thing with the nails, I mean, whether it happens here or it happens down there, it's still going to be nails in the ground. I mean, so we more or less need a system to fix that.
Yep, and like you seen out back, they're tearing that blacktop up. It's all tore up around those dumpsters.
Would the access be through the park or a separate access?
We can design it. We got Pizza Taro. We can design anything we want down there.
But you
But
said
there's
there's
money in
already
the
a
shared
driveway
services
that's a
through Mark
separate-
Molinaro with the counties and stuff, you know? I mean,
But
if
if
I
it
could
rains,
grant
that
for-
driveway is going to be all mucky and mud, so now we're talking paving, right?
So the first conversation we have to have is, how do we solve the problem of not having a transfer station anymore? And then
got the
if
field
we...
next door here.
And then if we need to move it, that's a separate conversation.
Yep.
So they don't have to get solved all tonight.
My only concern putting it, over on, by the park there, is that's coming around that hairpin turn. And coming in and out of that, it puts it closer to that turn. And, I don't know, that's just, I've seen a lot of stuff happen over the years in that area, or come close, come around.
we got a
Even
field
having
right
me,
next
I
door
almost
here that we
got out.
mow and don't do anything with right here. Right next door. I'm just saying, you guys seen out back here, and it's just getting worse. And I don't have the money in the budget to fix that blacktop out back. So this winter, that's gonna get tore up, and it's gonna be left like that, because like I said, I don't have money in the budget to
I mean,
fix or patch that.
I get it, we have to come up with, but I also do like what Dean had, Dean is right on one thing. We're gonna have the nail issues or whatever, and that means we're gonna take, a lot of those nails are from people going to the metal.
No, this is people coming Saturday. Elliot's seeing it when I was here with the magnet. It's people coming with the dumpster, with the truck here. They're dropping off roofing materials. People are cleaning out their houses. So many people are selling houses here in the town. They're coming with boxes of junk from their garage and shed, and the nails are falling out of the bottom of the boxes.
Well, maybe we gotta put a restriction on, like some roofing materials and stuff like that, certain building materials. The transfer station, maybe is for the garbage bags or anything that's sealed up in a proper construction bag, and we put in some restrictions that way, at least to start it for the meantime, is what I would say, we can address, because then we can put up a sign and just give some flyers out to our residents and saying, this is what's acceptable, this is the proper way to bag it up.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're bringing-
technically, the garbage company doesn't accept certain things. I mean,
That's correct.
You know,
Yeah, like
so
roofing
roofing
normally
materials,
would be able to put.
roofing shingles is one of them. TVs and other things are other
Yeah.
things.
So that we can try to, and I think the idea of doing a flyer might be, so the next couple, days for the transfer station,
Maybe hand out a flyer, yeah.
Hand out a flyer where we can jointly work on, I'll work with it with you guys and Melissa or whatever.
All right.
I'd also say, Todd, one of the reasons I would be worried about moving the transfer station near the park is precisely what you said earlier, where there was a situation where hydraulic fluid may have been leaking or something, and we can handle that when it's down here by the highway garage. We've got the equipment there. If it's leaking into the ground right next to Wappinger Creek in our park,
But if
I
I
get
wasn't
worried
here
about that.
Saturday, that mess would have ran into that catch basin in the back. And I'm just saying,
yeah,
if I wasn't here, we would have had a mess.
yeah.
And nobody would have said anything, and I wouldn't have known until I came in Monday morning.
And that was with the Welsh Sanitation truck?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's why alternatively, I was saying that if we just had instead of the garbage truck, a garbage dumpster, then they're just coming and picking up the dumpster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. The other thing I'm asking for is, I know you guys approved Tim Horton tonight for the cemetery. I'm asking you guys for an extension, if there is money in the budget allowed, to go up on his October, what was it, Mike?
How many days a week is he working? Because he's not doing the
He's
full
only
30.
working 3 days a week, and he only works, if he works 8 hours, he does. The only reason I'm asking is because Tim Horton and Andy Cooley are a perfect match. These two guys, they come in before 7 o'clock in the morning, they're out the door, and these guys are doing some job at the cemeteries and at the rec parks, all the rec parks and all the cemeteries. Andy's got a whole list of stuff that he wants to do this year before the end of the year, before the snow flies, like out front here and stuff like that, around the flagpole, the town sign, the Pleasant Plains Cemetery he's been working on, Friends Park they've been working on. They painted the dugouts, they painted the pavilion, they painted the sheds over there. As long as there's money in the budget, I'd like to keep Tim on, because if we can get stuff done this year, next year, who knows what's going to
Well, we
happen.
appointed to October 31st tonight.
Do you want to amend it until it
I-
exhausts?
No, I don't. I'd rather not be blindsided. We can sit down on Friday when we meet usually, and I'll have the budget with me, and we can talk about
How
what's
many hours
left.
is Chris working in Maresca?
He was doing 32.
He was doing 4 days. Tim's only doing 3.
During 4 days?
Yeah, so we knew with him doing 3 that we could extend his time a little, but
That's what I was
we've
saying.
already extended it further than what Chris was
Okay.
appointed to. So we have to make sure we have the money. I'll go through it, and I'll make sure we can have a meeting on Friday about it.
Okay. And then the last thing I have is the snow contract with Dutchess County DPW. We're still negotiating that. Last year wasn't negotiated. We've had increases in salary, wages, maintenance, fuel costs, and everything else. So Michael and myself, we're still going over the contract with the county. They offered us a lowballed number, and it's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. We're taking almost 17 miles of the road, so we're still negotiating that. So hopefully, we have a good outcome on that, and that's
Yeah,
all I
and this has
have.
been an issue that the county is dealing with in many towns. They're all asking for large increases, and the county keeps saying no.
Yeah,
But we'll get somewhere with them.
yes. That's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, I make a motion to return to the regular order of business. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Anything else from the board? I make a motion that the town board adjourns the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?